All right, let's start.
Cool. Okay, welcome everyone to Wednesday, April 6th comms call. So we'll just do intentions, distractions. So my intentions for the call are to, just check in on a couple of things on the board and check in on a few things for Meet the Makers this week. And then I have a few different things that were like, these are things we could expand on for comms that I put all on the agenda. So my intentions are all there. I'm not distracted. And I'll pass it to Forrest.
Hey there. My intentions are to talk about Meet the Makers and make sure that we've got speakers lined up for Friday, and just check when we're going to share the promotional Medium article and Twitter thread. And I don't feel distracted at the moment, and I will pass it to Ahmad.
Awesome. Yeah, honestly, I don't have much that I want to cover today, mainly just seeing if I can help on any odd issue here or there, and just, anything pending. I'm not distracted. I'm ready to get started. And let me pass it to Jack.
So my intentions are just to run an idea for a Twitter thread, or maybe see if there's any Twitter threads I could also start going on, see if there's any other things I can kind of hop on. My only distraction is my Wi-Fi's been a little spotty, but nothing too bad. And yeah, that's all. Guess who hasn't on Suga?
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Right, so I don't have any distractions. My intentions are, I'm working on two pretty big, feeling unwieldy type articles, which is great. But I would love to be able to do some small things, and I just want to sort of restate that in general. And I know it's been great. A couple of you have reached out to me just for us to edit. So I would love to do that all the time, anytime. Just drop me something, quick things that I can just do the editing stuff. The bigger things are, I have kind of big things right now, but I would love to help with whatever quick and dirty stuff. Back to you, Lauren.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Cool. So it's nice that we have a small call today. I think maybe the first thing we should check in on is Meet the Makers, because it's coming up on Friday. So I have a question for Meet the Makers, because the idea was that we were going to run it as a Twitter space. And the thing about Twitter spaces is that everyone who's participating and presenting will need to have a Twitter. So I'm not sure if that's the case. Also, everyone needs to access it on their phone. And I know that a lot of these projects are people at DVC, and I don't know if they have Twitter accounts and all these things. Plus, there's no share screen, so there's no way to show or demonstrate any of the work that people are doing. So those are the obstacles to Twitter spaces, and I'd love to hear your ideas first.
So I was aware that everyone would have to have a Twitter, so I've been communicating that to the projects, and I think only one didn't already have a Twitter, and the representative just created a personal one. So I have all of the Twitter accounts, but I wasn't aware that we can't share screen. So I'll just have to communicate that to them and let them know that it's more of a discussion and not having a presentation slides or something. But yeah, what do you guys think? I think the reason why we had chosen Twitter Space last time was just to potentially get more involvement, because last time in Discord there wasn't a ton of participation.
Yeah, I think that those are the two main things. Twitter Spaces has the advantage that more random people would walk in, but the biggest advantage that you can't actually see anything, so it's more kind of facilitated discussion. So I don't know, I'm open to whatever you guys prefer to do.
I mean,
I don't know. It would be nice if we had more participation in Discord, because I think that Discord is just better to use for this. But
Yeah, I mean,
Open
I
the
think
room.
that the trade-off is probably worth it to make it a space just because it would give us a lot more eyeballs and a lot more people would join organically. I think maybe like for the one that we do after this one, we could also experiment with running it on Discord but streaming it. And there is an option to stream it as a YouTube or yeah, as a YouTube video first. But then you could also stream it as a Twitter video, which is not really it's not a space, but it's like a live Twitter video. And I think OBS does connect to Twitter that way. So that could be a future option as well, is we just run it in Discord and then it'll stream on Twitter as a video. That might be like a good compromise that we could test.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
That's
So,
interesting.
yeah, that's cool. Cool. I'm open to exploring that for next time. But it sounds like for this time, general idea is that we prefer Twitter. Jack or Suga, do you have opinions?
Yeah, thanks. I was just going to add, I think at the last one, there was really only, if I remember correctly, one project that had a lot of slides to share. I think, if I remember correctly, someone correct me if I'm wrong, I think the other ones had kind of just a couple and it wasn't really pertinent. And then I think it was the last one, in fact, that had a lot. So maybe, you know, I think it is a good idea at least to give the Twitter space a chance to see if that really brings us in more people.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. Last time, I think we were mostly, like, we as Giveth were sharing our screen and showing the Giveth project page and where to donate while the speakers were presenting. And I think it was mostly the skateboarding organization that had like a presentation with a bunch of slides. So yeah, I can just communicate that with them and let them know that it will be more of a discussion. I think something else that would be helpful is as long as a couple of people from comms can join, and you know, already in Medium you can see the organizations, the projects that we're featuring. And it would be nice for us to have questions to ask, you know, during the Q&A if we don't like organically get a lot of questions from the audience, or at least having one to ask to kind of get things started. I'll have some prepared, but it'll be cool if there's people other than me. Like last time, Suga, you asked some that were really great, and I just think that helps with making it like natural and conversational.
Thanks, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds great. So Suga, you can come on Friday. It's at Friday at 11 a.m. Ecuador time. 6 p.m. Europe time.
Yeah, it's 10 a.m. Mountain, 11 Central, 12 Eastern.
Yeah, that should. 12 Eastern? Yeah, right. So that makes it 6, I think.
Yeah, so it's basically like an hour before now, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It would be great. Yeah. So, and Jack, are you able to join, or Ahmad, and just participate, ask questions?
Yeah, I think I can
Yeah,
pop in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could join as well. And the only thing I'd say add to that is I can definitely just like kind of leading up to Friday, just pick out some like good tweets, just like high engagement stuff to interact with, just kind of overall help how many people stumble across the space.
Yeah, I can. Forrest made a blog post and she made a tweet thread. I just made a comment. Forrest, if you could add the people's Twitter handles to the project into the tweet thread.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, I
really
can
good.
do that.
And then I could just share that tweet thread after this call, and then if you want to kind of take it from there, Jack, and kind of like try to put it places and like or find places to put it, then we can. Because it's on Friday, so we really only have like the rest of today and tomorrow to share about it. But yeah, I think that'd be great.
Oh, also, Lauren, there's a feature Twitter has where you can schedule a Twitter space, and then all of the followers would be notified, and then they can set a notification for it.
I know. The only reason I hadn't done it because we didn't confirm whether or not we would have done it in Twitter or not. But I'll schedule the space after this call, and then I'll add a link into the article and publish the article, and then I'll add that link into the tweet thread, and yeah.
Nice.
And do you need, like, the people that will be representing the projects, do you need their Twitter accounts ahead of time to add them as like a speaker on the Twitter space?
I don't, but if they can all be ready, like, 5 to 10 minutes before the call, before it starts, I can start the Twitter space like 5 minutes early or whatever, right on time. And then I just add them as speakers. So it's like, you can request to speak and I'll see it and then like be able to add them or add them as speakers. So I probably won't talk at all during the call because I'll be there as Giveth and I'll manage the people coming in and any links we need to share onto Twitter or whatever. So if other people can be more engaging and ask questions, that'd be good. And then I guess that's the other question about like, we also probably want to take the space to chill a little bit about stuff on Giveth. Like last time there was like a little space in between projects. I think that like some idea or feedback from last time, I think that maybe having Giveth in between each project makes it like a little bit like dancing around crazy, but we could maybe have a little bit of time at the beginning and a little bit of time at the end, and then just kind of have like a more concentrated chunk. And it's like, I think that would make the flow a little easier. What do you guys think? Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I think that's a better idea.
Cool. And then I think like the things to talk about that would be cool or like relevant to this. I mean, we just launched Regen Farms, so I think talking about Regen Farms is a cool idea, and also talking about the Giveth matching pool. Like I think at the beginning we could talk about givebacks, explain givebacks a little bit, explain the Giveth matching pool, and that like the Giveth matching pool funds will go to verified projects as well. So there's like 2 ways to support and then also get rewarded. And then at the end, we could also talk about Regen Farms, because DAOs coming into Regen Farms are donating 1% of the rewards tokens going out to the Giveth matching pool, which then goes to verified projects. So it's like, I think like all these are related and relevant to supporting verified projects, which is kind of like what we're highlighting. I could see if Griff is available because he'd probably be good at explaining that, or will you be good at explaining that? Are you available on Friday 11th? Griff could explain it. I can get Griff to do it. If that sounds good.
Awesome, yeah, that's great. What amount of time would you say makes sense to allocate to like the beginning chunk to speak about give backs and the matching pool, and then how much time at the end to talk about Regen Farms, just so I can appropriately make the schedule?
I think like 5 minutes is probably enough. How much time are we giving to each project? Because I don't know, I would also love it if we could, I know we have it scheduled for an hour and a half, but it would be amazing if we could make it an hour.
I think we for sure can make it an hour. Yeah, because I actually wasn't using the whole hour and a half with the current schedule. But last time, I can't remember what it was that Griff talked about at the end, but we like went over by like 15 minutes.
Okay. I think if it's like really clear how much, I think Griff is good at working within the boundaries. If it's very clear how much time he has, then we can make sure that doesn't go over. I think to explain givebacks, I mean like between 5 and 10 minutes at each section, I think is totally sufficient.
Yeah. We have 5 projects right now, and 3 of them are DBC projects. So I was gonna do like 2 minutes DBC overview and then 5-minute presentation for each of those. So let's say that's 20 minutes, and then doing like 10 minutes Q&A cumulative for those 3. So that's 30 minutes. And then we have the other 2 projects. If we do like 5-minute presentation and 5-minute Q&A, that's 50 minutes. So then we could do 5 minutes at the beginning and end for Giveth stuff.
Yeah.
And keep it at an hour. Okay.
That's great. Can you talk about, in 5 minutes, can you explain givebacks? 5 minutes. Right. That sounds great. Cool. Okay, so I will, I'll get that all set up on Twitter, and beginning. And,
Could you
and,
also
and then we could
record
just
the
change
space as
We
well?
can change the calendar invite to be 1 hour.
Lauren, could you also record the space as well?
Yeah, I can record the space. I can record it on Twitter. Yeah. I can
Exactly.
record it on
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah. So then we can repurpose parts of it later.
Sure. Honestly, I recorded, so I haven't done so many Twitter spaces, but I recorded the one we did about East Denver, and I don't know, I never did anything with it. I never saw it. Like, I clicked the make sure this is recording, and then it said this is recording, but I have no concept of actually how to get this information and then how to use it. Like, we could also record it some other way, but what are you thinking of using it for? Repurposing and using it for?
Yeah, I guess similar to what we do for the talks. I mean, we could create snippets from it, like the video snippets. We could condense it into a like blog post if we need to. We could do a Twitter
Okay.
thread. You know.
Maybe Jack knows about this. Jack, do you know like how to access or use these Twitter Space recordings? Like, are they able to pull out of Twitter? Have you ever done this?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can download it. And I was just thinking,
Yeah. I mean, if it's a video on Twitter, you can definitely download it. I mean, there's a lot of tools that let you download it.
Yeah, you can just like once it's recorded, just like download it, and then yeah, like I feel like that's a good point of mine. There probably is like a good number of ways we could repurpose it. Like maybe turn those sound bites into like YouTube Shorts, like YouTube or something like that.
How would I even find it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yes, I'll have to
I have no idea.
I will dig later. Cool. Okay, but yeah, we'll record it. We'll record. And there's another cool thing that I noticed because I was in a Twitter space that someone else was hosting. You can actually like pin tweets. Like, so when people are looking on their phone, it shows like, oh, this Twitter space is in progress, and then like it adds tweets to that, and you can like scroll across and see like links and things. So that is really cool, and I'll try to figure that out as well, so that I could just do the Twitter management stuff. Other than that, I think everything is good for Meet the Makers. Blog post is edited in Medium, just waiting to be published, and it's just announcing. Any other like questions or thoughts on that?
Well, just for like recording Twitter Spaces, you would go into like your account, and then there's a tab for like downloading archive of your data, where you would find like Twitter Space stuff. Yeah, download archive, and that's like how you would.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Are you sure?
Well,
Because I downloaded that archive data before, and it's like everything.
well, I mean, one way is like when you post this upcoming space and you do it as a scheduled Twitter post, it'll tweet it, I think, and then afterwards we could just go back to that same link and then just download the video that way, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. I won't spend time on the call figuring that out, but yeah, I'll check. I'll see if I can find it from East Denver and actually download it that way, and whatever works. Cool. Any other questions or thoughts on Meet the Makers? Cool. Okay. Cool. So I have a bunch of things. Let's just quickly burn through any of the issues on the board in case, like, there wasn't that much here that I think we really need to talk about. But we'll take a look in case there's any like questions, or if you guys have any questions on the stuff that you're working on, just speak now before we move on to a bunch of random things. Marketing plan, emails, blog posts, console onboarding guide. Cool. So the angel wealth stuff that we were gonna do is actually like we're not gonna do the raise anymore. So I put all those issues in the icebox. Like where Cool. Okay. Nothing stood out on the board to you guys that you want to talk about? There's nothing on there that I haven't really wanted to push on. Great. Okay, cool. So, a couple of things that we need a little bit of support on, and also I just like to inform people about. So, Give Power, I was mentioning to Ahmad and Suga, you were in the call earlier learning about. Give Power is going to be like the next thing that we're going to be releasing with Giveth. I mean, like the next really big thing that we're like working on right now, all these designs. I think we talked about it before, but I just want to give like a really quick idea overview of what it is, because what I would love from comms contributors is a little bit of support on some of the comms around like how this should be said and explained, you know? And I'm like kind of like, yeah, I hash these things out with Griff, but I would love like a little bit of extra feedback. So I made this issue called Give Power Key Messaging Brainstorming, and I just tagged like a few people, but really it's open to anybody who wants to jump in. But just like at a top level overview, Give Power is going to be basically a system where Give token holders are able to curate the projects on the DApp. So people will be able to stake their Give tokens and lock them for a period of time, earn a yield, and then they get something called Give Power. Then they can use this Give Power to basically state on different projects that they like those projects. Like they allocate some Give Power to their favorite projects on the DApp. And then that affects the project's ranking. So it's like projects will have like a ranking on the DApp. So it's like the top voted project, the one with the most Give Power would be like the top project on Giveth as chosen by these Give Power users. And then what that means is that people who donate to that project will get a greater amount of givebacks back. It won't be like, it'll be just like a little more than what the other projects get. Other projects get like some percentage, the 75% total. But the projects, when people donate to the top Give Power projects, they get a little bit more givebacks. The Give Power will also influence how we distribute the Giveth matching pool funds. So the top voted, the top curated projects by Give Power people will get more Give matching funds when we finally distribute that allocation. That's going to be like one of the factors that gets added in. So it's kind of creating a win-win relationship. Like Give token holders are able to stake and lock their Give tokens. They earn a yield, so they earn Give, and then they're able to support their favorite projects just by saying, I like this project with their Give Power. So that's like quickest first level overview of what it is. So I'm kind of like, I put the spec here in the doc. The spec is like several pages, and it includes like a lot of different details of how all this works, and like they also get governance tokens, and they're able to vote, and the different ways that it like affects givebacks. But yeah, for the issue, it's basically like, I would love if anybody wanted to just read through the spec, try to understand, just try to think of like ways that we should communicate this. So some ones that I said that I thought like would be, you know, like one-liners on the Give Power page. Give Power lets users decide which Giveth projects rise to the top. Use Give Power to help great projects on Giveth shine. Stake and lock Give to enable your Give Power. Boost your favorite projects and help them rise through the ranks. Earn a yield on your stake Give. The longer you lock, the longer you earn. New donors to top projects get more givebacks. Top projects benefit from additional matching from the Giveth matching pool. So those are just kind of like one-liner, informative explainer things. Yeah, any kind of like creative comms around like explaining this in a way that's like engaging and fun, and like what are the key messages and what should we really say? Totally open for anyone's brains if you feel so inclined. Does anyone have any questions about Give Power or how that works that I could just like answer to help empower you a little more on this?
So this Give Power thing will appear in your account as like in a way it's like conviction voting, sort of, right? Where you can choose.
Yeah,
like,
kind of. Except like with conviction voting, your voting power gets bigger over time. With Give Power, like you just have Give Power some amount, and you're able to give some to that project. So it's like projects will have 100 Give Power behind it, or 200 Give Power, and like if you leave it there longer, it doesn't grow over time. It's just always that 100, unless you take it off, unless the user takes it off and allocates it to a different project. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
These are the designs. They're not totally done yet, but it'll be kind of like you can allocate give power to show your support. So it's like you can put some give power on a project, and then you like boost that project. There's still a lot I want to like hash through on these designs. So, yeah, but the spec is in there. If you want to see the Figma, I can send you a link so that you can just DM me and I'll send you the link for it. But yeah, that's to keep everyone in the loop as well as we're kind of rolling out with these new things.
Are we putting it on the Give Farm section of the page of the website?
Yeah, so that's what I was doing just before this call, is explaining, like, because the only way that you'll be able to earn a yield on staking Give tokens when we bring out Give Power will be like through the Give Power interface. So it's like you can choose to lock your tokens for 0 rounds, like basically not locking them at all, and you just get a little bit of Give Power and you get a low APR. If you lock for 26 rounds, which is like locking for a full year, you get a max, like the maximum APR, the maximum rate of return on your rewards, and also maximum Give Power. So it's like, if you lock for longer, you get a multiplier that affects both your rewards and the Give Power you get. So if I were to like, yeah, so somebody who's just locking for 1 round gets less rewards than somebody who's locking for 5 rounds. And they also get less Give Power than someone who's locking for 5 rounds. So it will be on the Give Farm page, and what I was just kind of like explaining to Mo is I think that we should just have like one card where you stake your Give. Like it's like you stake your Give, you choose the number of rounds, you see what your APR is, and like they have this little, I like the modal that they made. It looks like this. Man, Figma is like really, really slow on my computer sometimes. Try to zoom. Here, looks like this. So it's like you have this little, you can choose how many rounds you're locking for, and then you see, maybe we can make it even a little bigger. And then you can see your Give Power that you get back. Give is like your governance tokens, which will always be the same as the amount of Give you lock, and then you get an APR. And the longer that you select the longer the rounds you select on this like slider, the greater your APR will be and the greater your Give Power will be. But I think it should just still look like, this is like the pop-up you get when you like click the stake, but otherwise it'll just look like a regular Give Farm card with like a range of APRs. And when you mouse over, it's like the longer you lock, the longer you earn, or the more you earn.
Okay, so in terms of like Give Garden, would it have the same benefits as just staking Give on its own? I mean, in terms of voting in Give Garden?
Yeah, you don't get more governance power.
Okay.
If for locking more, you always get the same amount of governance power, but you earn more on rewards. Like for governance, it's always going to be 1-to-1. Like the amount of Give you have, 1 Give equals 1 G Give in the Give Garden. But if you lock longer, 1 Give could equal 2 Give Power when you're voting on the project.
Yeah, I mean, that might be an area of confusion just because like people might see, okay, I could stake my Give on the top of the Give Farm page to basically let me participate in Give Garden, or I could scroll down and also participate in Give Power, which lets me participate in the governance, but also gives me access to Give Power. So like maybe we could combine those two in some way, or like have a note that says, if you also want to participate in Give Power, you could, like stake it that way instead, or like.
Well, I actually think, yeah, I totally agree with you. And I was just making this comment in the design channel that I really think it should just be one thing.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like anytime you're staking, there's no place to stake only for governance. You always get Give Power. Even if you choose 0 rounds, like if you just want to stake your Give for 0 rounds, you earn the lowest APR, you get 1-to-1 ratio for governance power in the Give Garden, and you also get just the lowest Give Power. You always get Give Power.
Okay, that makes sense.
I know, I made a long comment on the design. Griff's like, that needs to be changed in the design. I'm like, I can only do so much. Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, any more questions on Give Power? I love your questions, Ahmad. You're so smart. Okay, cool. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask about it, and like, please make any comments on this issue. I just tagged a few people, but let me tag. I'll take Forrest, and I'll take you, Jack. Jay. No. There. And Forrest, just so you can have a look as well and leave any feedback. I think I already tagged you on that. Yep. Great. Cool. Cool. So some more things that I think that we should do. Like, I know, Sugu, you're looking for some smaller things. I think, Jack, you might be looking for some bigger things, especially tweet-related things. So I'll just kind of like go over some of these, and if you guys feel like so inclined to jump on them, that would be great. One is, well, we did a bunch of token swaps recently. We did a token swap with DAppNode, like for Node token, we did one with Bright, we did one with TEC, we're about to do one with Water, and there's all these forum proposals related to token swaps, as many of which have actually like gone through, and I think it's worthwhile like telling people about it. So this is just like kind of a tweet thread, and what this will require is like to go through the forum and find the token swap proposals and just like summarize them into like one tweet each. But yeah, like what I would do for this probably is to say like something about the group that we're partnering with, and the fact that we did a token swap with them, and then like something about like how token swaps are great for the Give economy because it provides Give liquidity that's like owned by the DAOs, basically. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you feel like doing that, Jack? Or, I mean, Sugu, you're also welcome to jump on it, or anybody else?
Yeah, that's something I could do.
I mean, that could be a good one to get the other communities to retweet as well. So if you like frame like that tweet in a way like, you know, like we're super excited to be working with these partners, most likely they would retweet it to their audience as well. You know, so that might be an easy win. You know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, okay, yeah. I was just gonna say if there's something you could like share me to for that, would be great. But yeah, that's something I could do.
Okay, I will, for the interest of the calls time right now, I'll just make this kind of blank issue and call it token swaps tweet thread, and then I'll add a little bit more information to it later. And if I don't, bug me, and I will.
Got it. Thank
You could just DM me the issue and be like, Taylor, yeah. So yeah, another one is like we have all of these proposals in the forum. Like there's tons of proposals in the forum, and like I think this is just kind of like open invitation for anybody who wants to like add a little bit of like extra value. Like the things that are happening in the forum are for the Give community at large. It's like Give token holders can vote on how we allocate funds from the Give Garden. So they also should be empowered to like get involved in these discussions and like decide like which of these proposals that they kind of want to see through. So there are a ton of proposals on the forum, and honestly there's so much there that I can't even keep track of it all. So like I would like, I mean, Sue or Jack, if you want to like just not do anything terribly complicated and you want to just go through one of these, like read through a couple of the proposals, find one that you like, and then summarize it into a tweet thread. And you could even like check in if you're not sure if it should be put into a tweet thread or not. But like a good one would be like Water's an interesting one, but there was this like NFT one that's kind of cool. Oh yeah, here, Givers, the Giveth ecosystem PFP collection. I haven't even read this whole proposal, but it's something to do with adding NFTs to Giveth in some kind of crazy way. And it might be interesting to like read through and summarize this post and even turn it into a tweet thread to like get more engagement on it, or like other ones that might be good to get engagement on.
What's the health token?
Oh yeah, health credit, like carbon credits for the health. I don't even know what this is about. But you know, if it was a tweet thread, then I could read it and it would be much easier. So like those are just kind of like this would be super valuable for like not only our team of contributors, but also like the broader community who might want to get involved in some of these decisions on how we're using the funding from the garden. Yeah, so would love some support on that. Does everyone understand like kind of how our governance processes and things work, or like is there anything I can like clear up on that? Does it make sense like why this would be important or cool?
Go for it. I'd love to hear.
Okay, okay, cool. So, so we have like with Giveth, we have the reputation DAO, the NR Give DAO, or we call it the R DAO, or sometimes we call it the NR Give DAO, or whatever. If it's NR or R, it's the same thing. We're just bad at being consistent with what we call it. Anyway, the NR Give token. NR Give token holders control one pot of funds. This is basically kind of like our reputation community controlled treasury. And in order to have NR Give tokens, you need to be like a contributor you need to be contributing consistently for 3 months, and you need to pass a vote to get tokens. Like the NR Give members, current NR Give members need to like say yes to your proposal for tokens. So like that's kind of like our contributors control that, and it's 8% of the total ever supply of all the tokens. We put 8% in that pool, controlled by our reputation DAO. Then we have 33% of all the Give tokens that will ever be minted in the Give Garden. So this is in the Give Garden common pool. The Give Garden, the funds there can be used for like whatever people in Giveth want. So like in order to get funds from the Give Garden, a person would need to make a proposal on the Giveth forum, like this like health credit one, explain it, and then explain the rationale, explain where the funds are going to and how much funds that they're requesting, and then leave it up there for 5 days so that there can be some time for advice process. Advice process is basically like the time where people who are affected by the decision, people who have knowledge in the area or expertise and like influence over the decision have opportunity to discuss it. And then like once it's kind of like arrives at some soft consensus with a poll, it can actually go into the Give Garden and request funds. In order to request funds from the Give Garden, a person needs to put up some Give as collateral, but they get it back. So it's like 5,000 Give they need to like put as collateral to put the proposal up there. The proposal could be challenged if somebody's like, this is not in line with the Giveth Community Covenant. And then so a challenger would need to put up 10,000 Give in order to challenge that proposal. And in that case, the proposer might lose their proposal deposit, but like if it's gone through advice process and it's not likely to be challenged, the 5,000 proposal deposit will go back to the proposer once the proposal is passed. And then it's basically up there, and any Give token holder can vote in the Give Garden using conviction voting. Conviction voting is like a system of voting where the longer, like when you leave tokens on a proposal for longer, they gain more voting power. So it's like the voting power is a function of both number of tokens and the time they're staked there. So if you just stake a little bit of tokens for a long time, eventually it will add more voting power and it'll be more likely that that proposal will pass. Once a proposal passes in the Give Garden, it can be executed, and then those funds get sent to the wallet that it says the funds are supposed to go to. So basically, like the Give Garden is the place where Give token holders are able to decide how we're going to allocate this huge pot of funds that Giveth has available. So yeah, it's like both important to like engage in the Give Garden and also engage in the forum, but also it's totally open to anybody. You don't need to be a contributor in order to be requesting funds from the Give Garden. Anybody can come in with an idea, and there's been lots of those already that have been happening. Like a really like simple, easy one is like Almond from the Taoist wanted to throw a party, so she hung out with me and we had a little chat, and then she was like, okay, I'm gonna make a proposal in the Give Garden, and then she requested funding for that party, and then that went to them, and then they threw a party that was a Giveth sponsored party. We also sponsored from the Give Garden events at East Denver, like the Metapod competition and the pizza party and things like this. And so it's like anybody coming in requesting funds from Giveth. So that's why like tweet threads like this based on these forum proposals, like bringing them out to the community on Twitter, like Twitter's a great way to communicate with our community, is really, really valuable, because it basically brings more Give token holders into a place where they're empowered to make decisions on how the funds in the Give Garden should be used. Does that make sense? Hi, Mitch.
Thank you, yes.
Did you guys know it's Mitch's birthday?
Oh,
Oh, happy birthday.
I did not join the call right at the end for that.
Happy
I'm
birthday
not
to
that much of
you.
a narcissist.
Here we
Okay?
go, everybody.
No.
Birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
Mitch.
you.
Oh my
Dear
God.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday
you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. This is good. The second time around. Well,
This is why you
Maybe
weren't that
better. Maybe
and
better. Because we
well, we
had no
got.
choice. Suka made that ball roll really hard.
Oh man. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much.
Great. Okay, cool. Well, but anyway, kind of going back to what we were just talking about, does anyone want to take on any of these, does anyone want to take on any of that stuff? This is also good stuff for new contributors, and I mean, in the last weeks, we've had a lot of new people joining, but, yeah, it'd be great. Cool. Cool. Well, anyway, if you're looking for something to do, definitely do that, and you could create an issue for it as well. Don't need me to chase you. Something else I would love to just discuss a little bit is it'd be great to attract more donors into Giveth somehow. So I think I was talking with Melody about this. We're doing a talk to some nonprofits who have no blockchain experience at all, and she was like, let's give a donor profile. And to be honest, I don't even really know who are the biggest crypto donors, what do they look like, what motivates them, and we have our speculation and okay, let's gamify things and then make them more appealing to people. Let's create systems of rewards. But it would be really interesting to be able to find donors and then create specifically targeted campaigns towards them, or even go on Gitcoin and figure out who are the people who are donating the most and then talk to them, create interviews with big donors and ask them what kinds of projects that they're interested in donating to, and what kinds of experiences are they looking for. So yeah, this is kind of a research project and would be really valuable for somebody to take on. Hi, yes. Yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think? Or also just totally open to some other ideas. We could also create in the time that we have today in this call, we could brainstorm a little bit about other ways we could start to create an accurate picture of what donors want, and then make that an issue that we can give to somebody who's looking for something.
I just was remembering. Okay. I thought this was for the Giveth Connect working group, but I can see that they were more focused on projects rather than donors.
Yeah, we're focused on
Nice.
projects.
Okay. Sorry, that was my comment, and then I answered my own question.
Oh, cool.
So for donors, I mean, how do you recommend that we profile them? Is it more looking at the top donors that we get on Giveth, and then for the ones that created an account, I guess email them or look them up, I guess, if they have an ENS name or something?
Yeah, I think looking for ENS names is a great idea. Yeah, and even another idea is to look on Gitcoin or the Giving Block or other giving websites and see if they have leaderboards. Maybe they have leaderboards and then they have ENS names or Twitters or some kind of profile where we have some information of somebody we could even try to reach out to. And if we can't reach out to them, somebody that we could just gather information about, looking at their information online.
Okay. And then, I guess, what are the kinds of questions that we're looking to get answers? Is it just more to understand them from a profile point of view?
Well, the ultimate goal is to get more people donating on Giveth. And so it's like we want to be able to cater to the donors better, and so I think like the kinds of questions of things that we'd want to know is like what kinds of projects do they want to donate to, and like what do they look for in order to make their decision of whether or not or how much that they want to even donate to something, and like even things like it would be interesting to know like what chains they like to donate to, what currencies they like to donate in, and like why do they donate, like what's their motivation for donating in the first place. And I think there's a lot of interesting information. Like maybe we find out that it's like that most crypto donations happens on Polygon. I don't know. And then that would be like incentive for us to get things set up on Polygon if it would bring a lot more donors on. Or maybe it's like people really only care about projects that are helping the environment. And then it's like, okay, cool. Then we could work with the Connect working group to reach out to like more of these types of nonprofits in order to get them onboarded better. Or like maybe donors are looking for, I don't know, the specific types of projects or the specific types of information. It's like we could communicate to projects like what information to include in their updates based on like what if donors care about that or not. I think it's like really just useful for honing our like efforts into and putting energy into the places that matter more and create the most impact.
Yeah, I guess like the only thing that might be a negative to do that is it might bias us towards like whales or like larger accounts, and but I think it is a good exercise for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Not to buy too heavily to whales. It's true, we don't want to bias too heavily to whales, but but it is like really valuable to have like big donors to be actually like donating projects, because then they create like more of an impact. Like if we get them on Giveth using Giveth, then it's like our nonprofits or our smaller projects who aren't whales are able to like do the work to add value to society. And I think like creating that bridge is really valuable. But I think there definitely needs to be like a little bit of like spectrum and consideration. It's like we don't want to target only these donors. Like smaller donors, their opinions also matter, but to get like bigger donations, it makes sense to target our bigger funding streams. Does anyone else have any feedback on that? Like Jack, Suda, Forces, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind taking this on. I can start like a doc on this and create a basic profile. I have a little more bandwidth this week, so.
Okay, that would be awesome. Sounds good. We can also, that sounds good.
Just no comment from my side, guys. I'm here to just, onboard myself and learn about what you're up to. So apologies for like the radio silence mostly, but hopefully I can add more later on in these calls.
Thanks for jumping in, Yas. You're totally welcome. Welcome to be here. Glad to have you. Okay, cool. Yeah, projects. Yeah. I guess that this is something to possibly give the Connect work group, but like, it would be great also to like, when we're doing our project outreach, to get the projects actually to be advertising to their donors to donate via Giveth. That would be also great. But I guess we can relay that to the Connect work group. Honestly, these are kind of like, bigger issues that like need kind of champions. I sort of have like a few different ones here, and if everybody's kind of like at their capacity for bigger things, then maybe we could just like close the call earlier unless there's anything else. Cool. Getting projects from Gitcoin out together. Well, I mean, I did say like, no, we didn't talk about, well, we also didn't get we wanted to look at the projects on Gitcoin and bring like the good ones on together. There's just not that many people on the call, and everybody's like not really interested in taking on issues. So that seems to be what's happening.
I mean, I want to do all the things, but I'm afraid if I volunteer myself, then I'll be overextended. But definitely, maybe it's like possible to, I mean, Ahmad just sort of jumped in with the donor thing, and I feel like if the ball was rolling on any of these big ones, I could happily kind of pick up some slack with them, but I don't know that I can spearhead any of these.
I think the one that Griff was just mentioning, I didn't mention, it's actually not so hard. It's really just like to go on to get my grants and to like take a look at the projects, not the ones like, not really targeting the ones that are like super like Cody, Ethereum, but like other public goods projects that they have on there, and then like making a list, and then we can reach out to them and get them to bring their projects on together. So it's kind of like, you do it in your off time if you want a little bit of a brain break. Read good projects on Gitcoin and then make a list of the best ones, or the ones that we want to see on the list. Cool.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a video for that, and then I'll add more content to it, but for now, I'll just make the issue. So,
I also feel like I can tinker on the proposals one.
cool. Yeah,
More
that
of
would
a tinkering.
Yeah, that one is like, I mean, it's not like totally desperate that we need to have tweet threads for all the forum posts, but like really valuable if you like go on the forum, read one and want to like summarize it and share it with our community.
Yeah.
Really great. So if you're in the forum, Suga, and you find one forum post that you want to summarize it to a tweet thread, just create an issue for it and be like tweet thread on this health good one, and then just add a link to it.
Yeah.
Cool.
How many are out there at all?
Oh, the forum is so full. So much
Any
stuff.
random idea?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I like basically good. Like, what is this?
Okay, no worries. I'll check it out.
What is any of this? I haven't read any of this stuff. Oh. Okay, cool. Well, anyway. Cool. Any last thoughts before we close the call? No? Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining.
Excellent. Sorry it was pulling teeth for you today.
Okay.
It was tough work. We're all listening intently.
Yep. It's like all the
Admiring
issues. All the issues are big issues. So, yeah, they're like mini projects. So, totally understand. Anyway.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe, no, but it seems like, I mean, one way or another, we have to do them, so that's all there is to it. And I think that maybe, I find that once there are issues out there, then it's easier for me to kind of just like, okay, I can check this out. Or like I've mentioned before, like, I mean, you can also just tell us, if you just say, hey, do you want to do this? If you just send me a mail, I'm like, sure, I'll do whatever you tell me.
Cool, okay. I'll make issues for them, and I'll like add, like all thoughts, I'll turn them into like issues with nice explanations, and then I'll throw them at people, or I'll wait for people to say.
There you go. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, Lauren.
Thanks for the feedback, Suga.
Yeah, we love you. You're the best.
Yeah, I love you too. Okay, bye. Go away.
Yeah. See you later. Okay, bye.
Bye.
See you everyone. Take care.